awesome viewers. You're welcome to another interesting episode of your favorite podcast, Democracy Games. And yeah, you know how we do it on this podcast. We try to show Nigerians how to participate in this our democracy. We try to show you how you can function effectively so that together we can build the Nigeria of our dreams. And guess what? Today we have a full house. We have a full house. If you see the people in this studio, oh my God. If you see the people we have in this studio, they don't need introduction. Particularly the pink lady. The pink lady.
Who is the pink lady?
Can you see her already? I'm sure you already know her name. If you know her name, type her name in the comment section. I'm sure you all know her. Who in Nigeria doesn't know not too young to run? Who doesn't know?
I think some Gen Z.
That's
what we're doing this for.
Well, we have the convener of the Not Too Young to Run movement. We are pleased to have you on this set, ma'am.
Thank you.
If you don't know, just for formality's sake, let me try and mention. Do I need to?
No, just my name is fine.
Okay, her name is Cynthia Mbamalu.
Thank you.
Drum rolls! Yes, that's her. She's the executive director of YIAGA Africa.
Director of Program.
Director of Program.
Yes.
Okay, we keep going higher and higher. Yeah. She's the director of Program of YIAGA Africa. And right beside her... I'm sure you already know this one too, but let me confuse you. Is he him or is he his brother? Is he you or is he your brother?
Anyone.
Of course, they are twins. If I call him his brother's name, he will answer. Abi? Well. We have on set one of the Tagwaye twins. Sir, please tell us, which one are you?
Which one do you want to know?
Please tell us, which one are you, sir?
Which one? Anyway, I'm a serious person.
Which one are you among the brothers?
That's what I'm telling you. I'm a very serious person.
Your brother is also serious. Just tell us.
You can be a comedian, but me, I'm a serious person.
Okay, he has told us this is Mr. Uchenna. So he's telling us he's not his brother. But if you see his brother now, his brother will tell him, no, that's me there. Let's not hope that this is Mr. Uchenna, the founder of Tagwaye Foundation. He's a youth inclusion activist. And he's also passionate about Nigeria, about one Nigeria. And by my left, we have our program officer. The quiet brain who has been backstage, putting everything together, taking all the heat from me. We're happy to have you on set, Blessing. Blessing is our program officer and she's been quite effective. And then the last but not the least, Ebenezer. Ebenezer.
Is it Obe or?
Ebenezer.
Okay, Ebenezer Obe.
No, just Ebenezer.
Not
Ebenezer.
In case you don't know, this guy is a heavyweight champion.
So I heard.
Yeah, he's kind of calm, you know.
I think he's cruiserweight, maybe not heavyweight.
Cruiserweight. I tell you, he has a gold medal, Nigerian Mixed Martial Arts Federation, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he's also a lover of Nigeria. He's also part of the Made in Nigeria crew.
Yes.
Yeah, so you see why I'm excited today. We have lots of interesting people on this set. And guess why we are here? We are here because we love Nigeria. We are here because we care about Nigeria. And together, we'll be exploring how citizens, that's all of us, that includes also you, can participate effectively in our democracy. We're going to start with the encyclopedia.
Cynthia is the name.
Okay, but so we'll be discussing winning strategies for citizen engagement. And I'll be starting with you for obvious reason. You have done what is almost impossible.
Well, They say things are impossible until it is done. Then it becomes possible.
Yeah.
For those of us who are law students, you know how they tell you it's impossible. Not impossible, Sha. It's extremely difficult to amend the constitution.
True.
These people, they did it.
Yeah.
In case you don't know, if you want to amend the Nigerian constitution, you have to get 2/3.
Yes. Of the
Not just of the House,
Senate,
of the
House.
Senate and the 36 state houses of assembly. Is it 37, 35? 35.
36.
36 actually.
36.
State house.
the
FCT doesn't have now.
FCT makes us 37.
Yeah.
No, it's 37.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
36 states and capital.
Yeah.
You know this court case is what is still 25% in FCT.
So you have to get 2/3 of the 36 state
States,
houses of
yeah.
assembly to agree on the amendment you want to make. And after that, the National Assembly also has to agree. Guess what? That means you have to get the whole of Nigeria
Then
to
the
agree.
president has to assent.
And the president also has to assent. Now think about that. And you're not football. You're not football. You're not money. So you'll be telling us, how did people do that? We'll be want you to, focus on the lessons, the challenges. Let's tell us about that journey, please. How did you get Nigeria to agree? To
I have
include
to
young
clear
persons.
My throat first. I think for me, and it's nice to be part of this amazing conversation. So well done to everyone, and I'm honored to be part of this conversation. I think one thing I've learned from the journey of the Not Too Young to Run movement is that first, advocacy works. It may take time, but it works. And the other conversation is that there is power amongst young people. If young people want to see change, they have the power to drive change. The third for me is that there is no easy process, but consistency and constant organizing gives you the kind of results you want. And I'll start with these three. I'll start with these three. So, advocacy takes time. The journey of the Not Too Young to Run movement, because like you said, to amend the constitution takes a lot of work. The first time we had pushed for the amendment of the constitution was in 2009. Then we were students. We came all the way from University of Jos. Yeah, so YIAGA Africa was born from University of Jos. Myself and a couple of friends started YIAGA Africa as a student association in University of Jos. Before it's grown now to one of the leading institutions pushing for democracy within the continent. But it's been an almost 17 years journey, because we'll be turning 17 in 2024. Oh. So I'd say it's been a consistent. So the first time that push was done was in 2009, but then we came as a single organization. So it failed, obviously. It wasn't even giving recognition. In 2012, we started another movement. And this one, we worked with some youth organizations to amend that same constitution to reduce the age to contest for office. It still failed in 2012. So 2015, 2016, we decided to reorganize. And this time, what we wanted to do was to build a movement around the issue where you have diverse voices speaking on one particular issue from different parts of the country. And that's why I thought about advocacy works, but it takes time. And one strategy we learned from that was, if you're speaking as one organization, you don't get the attention of the power bearers. Because to amend the constitution, you need the National Assembly to first take you seriously. To know, these guys are people you should listen to. You need the political elite to understand that there's something you want to do and take you seriously. And so if you go as a single voice, you wouldn't get the kind of attention you want. If you go as a collection of some voices, you may not get the kind of attention that you want. But if you go as multiple voices speaking with one purpose, you begin to get the attention. That was what Not Too Young to Run did. First, we had to look, thanks to social media also. By 2015, social media was already having, better penetration in Nigeria, like when you compare that to 2009. And so, first, get a good hashtag. You want to amend the constitution, but we say constitutional amendment, people will be like, young people will be, you lose them immediately. We need a catchy title. And so both people say not too young to run bill. It was actually called the age reduction bill, technical terms, in the National Assembly. So it was about we need to build a movement around this. We need people to care about that. And what do young people care about? Young people wanted their voices to be heard, wanted to be included, wanted to be part of a system. So what is the sentiment that they can connect with? It was that feeling of exclusion. And so the conversation around not too young to run was, it is time for young people to be part of the conversation because we are the majority and we have a longer time to stay. And so that was why the title, Not Too Young to Run. We are young, but we are not too young to run. So it could be to run for office, it could be to run for a leadership position, but that was a catching thing. But to change policies, you also need to have champions within the spaces where the power lies. And that was identifying young lawmakers that cared about youth inclusion. And so we needed to get sponsors in National Assembly, both the Senate and the House, it's a bicameral legislature, to sponsor the bills as private member bills to amend those sections. Basically, what we were pushing for is to reduce the age to run for office in Nigeria. Because there were younger people who were running for office. In fact, there was a case of a young guy who had run for office. He won, but his election was challenged in court, and he lost in court because he wasn't up to the age. At the time, he needed to be 30 to run for state assembly or House of Representatives. He wasn't up to 30. He was 29.
Wow.
And so you can imagine that people voted, but now they've lost. It's like lost mandate.
Chai.
And they had to give the next. So we had younger people who were running for office, but that age criteria was a limitation. And so that was the conversation. I know it's a long story, so I'll just summarize. And so we got lawmakers who presented as private member bill. But the thing is, if people are speaking, you also need people you need the leadership of National Assembly to know that this bill is important. How do you make it important? You get people talking about it outside. So the movement outside was basically getting younger people to talk about this bill on social media. So Not Young was trending before we knew it. But the part around consistency and constant engagement is one thing to get the bill to pass first reading. So amend the constitution, you need it passes first reading, the second reading, then you go to a committee stage, to the joint committees in Senate and the House needs to harmonize. Then you come back for third reading, and when you come, you need the votes, because you need the 2/3 in the Senate and the House to vote in support before it can go to the states. So we needed to get the states to start thinking about the bill even before the bill passed at the national level. And that was what informed setting up the state structure. So every state, we did an open call. If you want to lead this movement in your state, there is no funding, there is no donor funding, because we didn't want money to be the limitation. If you care about this, apply. So we had this training for leaders of the movement at the state level, and they had to go back, set up leadership teams, and start engaging their state assemblies, even before the bill left National Assembly to the state. And so those were the consistency and the constant engagement. I think the third part, and to summarize, when we talked about the strategies for me, it's about building a movement that's built around a message that people connect with, but ensuring you have diverse voices speaking. Nigeria is a diverse country. If you want an issue to fail, just give it an ethnic coloration or a religious coloration or a political. What that means is you exclude a class of people. And so if you think about strategies to even build and support our democracy, there's one thing we learned from the movement is there are several things that connect us. And if we focus on the things that connect us, we can build national movements around issues. What are those things we care about? So for the movement, we focused on youth inclusion. We don't care which party you belong to. As long as you care about youth inclusion, you're welcome to the movement. We don't care if you're Igbo, Hausa, Ibibio, Birom, Fulani, Europe. We don't care where you come from. As long as you care about youth inclusion, this is your movement. We don't care your religion. As long as you care about youth inclusion, this is your movement. And then when people were dissenting, you had young people who said, this is for politicians' children. They always have those dissenting voices. We learned that you don't shut those dissenting voices up, because democracy is about constant dialogue and conversation. Dissent is democracy, right? The moment you start shutting up, if you don't believe in inclusion, then you are an enemy. That moment you start creating unnecessary fight and you lose focus of the issue. So what else did we learn from that? Do not silence the dissenting voice. Leave it open for debates and dialogue. We won't start doing things like that debates across local communities. If you don't believe in this bill, come and tell us why. And from the debates, we're getting information on how to even reframe our messages. Then the older generation, because you want to get power. Power is not given a la carte, they will say. And the older generation love being in power. So you can't come and say this is about takeover. The moment you come to National Assembly and say it's time for takeover, your bill has died on arrival. And so we also learned that the conversation with young people in the communities must be different with how we engage with the National Assembly and with the leadership we needed to see the change. So we can go to the street and wear t-shirt and shirt and shake each other. When it's time to engage National Assembly, we dress in our traditional ways or in our suits. We sit down and our focus with them is, this is not about takeover, this is about intergenerational dialogue. Our democracy needs different generations to talk together for it to be sustainable. And if you care about sustainability in our country, if you care about our democracy, then you need to get younger people in the table. Those were the arguments that I believed. So the messaging was targeted. That way we're building arguments that was targeted to different corners and different centers of power that we needed their support. And so in summary, it is one thing we learned from the movement is it took us a long period of time, because even when this bill was introduced in 2016, it was not passed into law until 2018 when the president signed the bill into law. But remember, the journey did not begin in it started 2009. It was just changing patterns. But Nigeria may be difficult and tough, but there are several progresses that have been achieved in different quarters. Progress, but significant progress. But if we are consistent, if we're speaking as one voice, if we neglect those differences and focus on the things that are important to us, then we can achieve the kinds of progress we want to achieve.
Wow. This is interesting. I'm telling you.
I feel like I missed so many things.
No.
Definitely, I'm sure you must have.
The explanation is comprehensive already. And it's an interesting story. It's the type that whenever one is telling it, you just keep listening, because most of us just hear about it. Some of us might be involved, but probably from afar, not from the center. But it's a legacy that will actually last for a lifetime, actually. But the issue is, after this particular dream was achieved, what happened?
We will talk about what happened if
so
our host.
Yeah.
Well, good point.
Okay. I'm just saying anyway.
Go ahead.
I'm just saying, because there is nothing so painful like for you to spend 17 years fighting for a particular thing that you felt will actually change the course of time, and only for you to realize that after achieving this for others to benefit, you realize that it was a setup, kind of, It was just a kind of setup, because you are not actually seeing the change you were yearning for. This particular, zeal that pushed you to do this for your people. You realize that, in fact, some of the young people are the ones that they are messing up more than even the older generation. It's sad, man, and it gets to a point that you start, if I'm in her shoe, I will start to regret. Yeah, I will start to regret it. Do you understand? After that bill was signed, I expected us to, start hearing stories, positive stories about young people, how they have break bounds, the achievements, and the rest of them. Do you understand? Mind you, I'm not saying there is no young people in leadership position that have not made us proud, but the numbers are low.
Yeah, low.
That's the fact. The numbers are extremely low. compared to the bad eggs. That's the fact, So, like I said, I know you might be crying in your heart at times. Well, I'm sorry, so sorry. Take heart, Nigeria has happened to
A lot of us.
project like that, These are projects that when it was on motion, everybody was like, if this happens, it's over. Nigeria is set on the peak. But what's happening? Some of the even older people, why they agreed to it was at least how many years do I have again? I have almost 6 children. They're at that range. Let them push it. And you realize that, when it was signed, 60 to 65% of the young people are from them. So it's just a recycle. And they have children that, that sees life the way their parents sees life. So, there is a saying in Hausa that, I don't know if any of you understand Hausa. There is a saying, Gasorogo, Mbaka Bao.
Please interpret.
So now, it's just like I will tell her, please go and roast that cassava and bring let's share.
Okay.
Then when you bring the cassava, I will peel the cassava. I will take the cassava. Then I will give you the peel.
Chai.
So that's what happened. So let me not dwell on it so much so that our sister will not start regretting the whole process. It is a legacy you have kept forever. You and the team, is a project that at that time, whoever that hears it will tell you, please don't even push it again.
Yeah.
But if people were consistent until, thanks to President Buhari at the time, because in fact, a lot of people were like, he's the only person that might decline. And it turns out that he welcomed the idea. I was, are you sure? Are you sure? And it happened. So with that, it was like, you cannot read people like that so easily. You won't tell what they like. So one thing is, if I am to say then, after that project was achieved, that structure shouldn't have been left to die. They could have held down that structure. In fact, from that structure, you keep bringing out, like beautiful products from that structure. Because how many of them are contesting and they're winning?
Okay. So
that is why we are here. That is why we are here.
Okay.
That is why we are here.
You understand?
I guess
I have never seen a candidate from any political party that say, okay, they are not too young to run. Is handpicking this person. That they are really partisan. No, not partisan. What I'm saying is this: you are not the one to say it. But like, this product is from not too young to run. Do you understand?
We have some of them.
I know.
Few number.
I'm not talking of people taking advantage. I'm not talking of those ones that source a platform, take advantage to become something. I'm not talking of those ones. People you groomed. You understand? People that they got to you to learn about leadership, and afterwards they move on to experiment it. And you'll be proud.
I think you can answer that question.
Well, actually, what they fought for was for every Nigerian youth to be able to participate in electoral processes, leadership positions, even at a young age. They are not partisan,
Okay.
So what YIAGA Africa fought for is for the whole Nigeria, irrespective of where you're coming from.
The whole tribe, Nigerian youth.
Your whole Nigerian youth, irrespective of your tribe, your religion, as long as you're a young Nigerian youth, you're ready to take leadership position, then please and please, let us give them the advantage to take up that position. So that was what they fought for.
Yes, so it's opening up.
So that's what I'm saying. So since after fighting for that, and it was achieved, then bye-bye.
No, I think they still do a lot of work as regards
Eben, I know you've traveled across Nigeria. You visited like 26 states of Nigeria, preaching the gospel of Nigeria. Please,
work.
can you tell us what has been your experience?
So I would, first of all, thank you so much for the great and the fantastic introduction with regard to the backstory of Not Too Young to Run. And I've listened to what he's saying with regard to the fact that it feels like people are coming to take advantage. But one thing I can say is that for the betterment of Nigeria, with respect to North, Maiduguri, we're in Port Harcourt, we're in Lagos, we're in all the states we have gone to, the one thing that Nigerians yearn for is good governance. And if we are to look at the journey of good governance, let me use South Africa as an example. 80-something plus years they fought for their independence. If you are fighting for something, it will take time. These guys have set a precedent, they have set a platform for the next generation of people to continue the battle, to continue the journey. So for you to get one governor, I'm not going to give any examples, but for you to get one governor that's young and doesn't do things well, maybe in the middle belt, it doesn't mean that you cannot get another governor that will do things well in the future, because the people that are actually going to come on board, the younger people, they are not going to look at these old people and say, I must be like them. They will look at the young ones that they can pick from and say, wait, this person did something. They're able to win this seat. So if I have a good heart, even if I don't have a good heart, if I have the good of Nigeria, the love of Nigeria, patriotism for Nigeria, I want to see the roads work. I want to see education actually blossom. I want to see health become a good thing. I will fight for that power. And I'll fight for it because I know I can get it. And that's what they have done for us. But if we were to look at it from the perspective of, them fighting for a battle that cannot be won, then we can just sit back and allow things to remain the same. But in every state, I can assure you that we've gone to in Nigeria, everybody yearns for good governance.
Only young people?
No, she said everybody.
Everyone.
Everybody.
I'm trying to draw emphasis.
Now, if you are to draw emphasis to the young people, who are the people that are actually going to stay in this Nigeria in the next 30, 40 years?
It's young people.
It's the young people. So it's not a fight for who is here just now or who is ahead of us. It's the fight for people that are coming. There's a saying, I'm just going to quickly end on that, where if you plant a tree and you know you're not going to sit under the shade and you still plant it, at that point in time, the people who come after you would look and experience that legacy you have done. They have done something and put a legacy. Now it's for us to continue that journey. And I like what you put there, where you said, is there not somebody that, to be very candid, they can't push one person or they can't expect one person to come out of it, but they can expect a multitude of people to draw from the experience, to draw from the inspiration of the ability to be able to come out and actually stand. Because if you could not come out and stand, what was the essence? Instead, you'd be doing subversive things and working for these politicians to actually do evil. But now, at least because you know you have a platform, then why wouldn't I fight?
But the thing, like I said, is, you see, we all go to school, graduate, then some even further to get master's, doctorate degree. But there is none of those processes where you will see a particular lecturer or a professor that will tell you, okay, if you are done with school, come, I will teach you how to make money. None will do that. Is that correct? So it is with leadership schools. What I'm saying is that Not Too Young to Run could have established a leadership school where people will graduate. You are not partisan, but that means you are not the one to tell them if you want to run for an office, you are good to go. It's their decision. But yours is to prepare them.
Equip them.
Equip
so
them.
Actually
So when, in fact, I expect when you want to even give your CV, you add that you are a not too young to run alumni. Do you understand? Like it will be in your CV. This will show, oh, this guy is
You're
from
part
this
of the
product.
struggle.
Do you understand? It's a product.
But for
These
those who
are-
part of this
Do you understand? So these are some of the things I feel that if it's possible, the organizer should, kind of, bring this up again. Do you understand? Because there is a lot to change in the Constitution. Not only too young to run. There is a lot of things that will benefit the youths, benefit the larger numbers
And
of
we
the
have
country.
more Nigerians to
Exactly.
take that
So
fight.
after 2018, do you understand? After 2018, everything died down. What I expected is, okay, this page, we are done with this page. You open another page, start to look, which one will we remove here? That's what it
Sorry
means.
to cut you off there. She mentioned there's
mentioned
something
something
I want to actually
So the thing is, and I guess first, not too young to run is a movement, right? It's social, political. That's why I said it's non-partisan, and we're in a period of transitioning for younger leaders. When I want to see those in their 20s leading the movement now, right?
Yes, actually.
But post the amendment to the bill, there's been so many other things that happened that after that, the Ready to Run, for instance, was born immediately the bill was signed. And what Ready to Run basically was focusing on was identifying young people who want to run for office and providing them technical support to run for office. And so, in fact, for 2018, the bill was signed 2018, right? That was when we started the Ready to Run. And that was how we were able to engage some young people who could run for office. Post the 2019 elections, we had about 102 under 35-year-olds who won the election. This is the first time. And 22 of them were under 30, so 25 to 29 years old.
Wow.
22 of them. Is it a big number?
Under a certain political party.
No, different parties. Because so that's the thing. We don't support one party. We support, as long as we have to support across parties to ensure it's non-partisan.
Yes.
But you need to show that you're a person of capacity, competence, and character. We call it the 3 C's: capacity, competence, and character. And then for 2023, we're studying like what we call political organizing. Now, political organizing training is for young people who want to run. In fact, post there, we're studying what you call law clinics to have young lawyers volunteer to provide legal support to young people who want to run. But I get the frustration, because even us, we get frustrated. You push for something, but the system itself is a difficult system because our system is still very young. But that's what I talked about, because you talk about strategies for the
Winning strategies.
yeah. Right? Right? Is the fact that, and I'll quite to what you said, is like the fight for apartheid, it took them 80 years plus. South Africa got independence in 1994. A lot of African countries, rather, including Nigeria, supported the fight against apartheid.
Yes.
It took them years. It took them decades,
And that's
basically.
different generations too.
Different generations. In fact, they have this challenge about what they call the born-free generation in South Africa, those born post-apartheid, who they feel they need to now take agency to fight their own generational fight. And for Nigeria, we need to also ask ourselves, what is our generational fight? Because what we're doing now is a fight for the generation.
Yes.
And Frantz Fanon will say, every generation must realize its mission, right? No. Yeah, we either fulfill it or betray it.
So the
right?
Gen Z,
And so
what's the Gen Z's mission?
So that's why I say every generation. I'm millennial, for instance, but I also believe I'm part of the young generation, and I'm glad most of us here are reasonably young. And I think it's a mixture of millennials and bridge of Gen Z.
You will tell us your generational fight.
Oh, you're millennial. Okay, so you look Gen Z. You have good genes. So for me, it's about every one of us now. One thing was the idea for the amendment was open up the space first, because that was a barrier. Now, it doesn't mean as you contest. We have over 500 young people that contest. Thousands of young people that contest every election.
Yeah.
But only few win. But those few that win, amongst them, will pick champions. Who are the champions? This last election, we had the youngest from Kwara State. This young lady, she was 26 when she won the election. We had a 26-year-old in the north who unsat a long-term serving legislator, right? We have some of those key stories. In fact, for the first time, 2019, we had 5 states
How
that
good
the
are they?
speakers,
Like, how good are
speakers
they
were
for their
35 and
performance?
below. Oh, that's what I'm saying, because, at the legislative level, the way you can track performance is at constituency level.
Yes.
So if you meet some of their constituents, some of our shining stars, and to end, we have.
Do you know?
I'm looking at it.
I'm
looking at my host.
Constituency is one way to know if they are doing well, but
because
their character as well will tell you how well they are doing.
See,
do you understand?
People who did not run in 2023 after 2019 because they said, I know someone that said, the system is tough, I don't want it to change me, so I'm leaving. And there are people who will say, I will keep fighting. But those are few, we call them our champions. They are few in number. And some of them, we have motions that are presented in the National Assembly that it was through these young people. Because as YIAGA Africa, will provide technical support to young legislators, young and female. So sometimes there's an issue. We work with them. We help them review some of the bills or some of the motions to speak. Sometimes some of them talking, we smile because these are our champions. So the amendment of the Electoral Act, if we did not have younger people, that bill, there were those who were working with us and saying us, this particular section is contentious, you need to organize better outside, right? So we're learning that we have few voices, but it's important to have a voice at least, right? And then as you keep engaging, you don't let them, when people get into it, we don't leave them. We keep working with them to see what they can achieve. It's a gradual process. Our democracy is 24 years.
Yes.
How many young people at 24 can say they are independent?
Well, for me, I feel...
So there's hope.
Can we
for me, I feel that orientation will play a very vital role in strengthening our democracy. And the orientation I'm talking about is, if you look at these younger people and see the way they are coming up, none is talking of leadership. Most of them are not discussing leadership. The only thing they are discussing about, like I said, not all, but majority of them are just after how would they make money.
Yeah, that one is a systemic challenge.
How will they make a fast money?
It's not a youth problem.
No.
It's a Nigerian
Can you hold that thought?
It's a Nigerian problem.
No. Have you seen?
Hello.
Have you seen a
hello. I don't want us to lose track, please. I don't want us to lose track.
When he was
please,
young, he was probably thinking of making money.
You've identified some challenges. Now, sir, I really want you to, because you seem to have ideas on how these challenges can be resolved going forward. Yeah, can you espouse on that?
Yeah, you see, like I said earlier, because when I criticize a particular thing, I give reasons why I do. And it doesn't mean we don't have young people that mean so well for the country. But how can you identify them? That's the issue. Tell us. You see, I mentioned orientation.
Okay.
People need orientation. And when I mean orientation, you need people that sees this country beyond their tribes. That's the challenge. That's the major challenge. See this country beyond their tribe. Because you see, like 2023 election, there is a particular tribe in this country that if you are not supporting a particular candidate, you have issue with them. And democracy is not like that. Democracy is all about, I want Mr. Orji. And they say, no, that you are the one they want. I would say, no, the only way you can go for Mr. Orji is that he will do this, he will do that. I have seen his track record. You say, no. That's how democracy works. Not imposing somebody on people, and when they reject him, he turns to an enemy. Do you understand? These things like this should be tackled. Make people to understand, if you reject a particular candidate in one voice, because it's from your own side, how do you think you can sell him to the other tribes? You cannot sell him, because you have shown you have rejected theirs. So that's where this tribal thing creeps in. Do you understand? So, but when we look at it that whoever that is coming in to lead this country is doing it based on he wants the country to move forward.
He or she.
he or she.
I like that.
Do you understand? To move forward.
Affirmative.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
I was born in the north, grew up in the north, but I'm Igbo by tribe. Do you understand? But like my type, our type, let me use, because I'm not the only one, I have siblings. Our types are like sacrificial lambs. Yeah,
Can you
we use
expand
that
on that?
word.
Can you
Yeah, when I say sacrificial lamb, I mean we are the tribes that has no tribe. We
Nigerian.
belong
Tribe, but you're
to
in Nigeria.
nobody.
Nigerian.
Do you understand?
Yes.
Whenever, so at times I start to tell people that I understand this country better than a lot of our leaders. I'm not apologetic about it. I understand this country more than they do, simply because when you have two orientation, coming from the Igbo side, coming from the north, there is a way you see the country. If these people are behaving in some kind of way, you understand them. So these are the kind of orientation they should be giving people to understand. Yes, understand. You see, one thing that could have changed the course of history in this country is NYC. But it has been compromised. NYC could have, if I am to be the president, I will make it paramount that for you to have your NYC certificate, we must run a check to know where you were posted. You understand their culture. You can even speak their dialect or their language properly. If not, at least let's say 60%. That you will understand that. But now we have an NYC.
But how does that, mind you, this is also a democracy. I believe that should be a thing of choice.
No, it shouldn't be.
There would be a thin line.
If it's a thing of choice, then you scrape NYC.
I'm not talking about the NYC. I'm talking about the choice to learn another language.
Okay.
Is it a choice to study Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba when you are in secondary school?
No,
is it a choice? No. Is it a choice?
I think it's just federal.
No,
school.
I said federal school. Is it a choice?
Schools in particular.
Federal, I mean federal.
No, because
you
no, it
must
can't be because
you
federal
must pick
school,
a particular
our
one.
Unity school. That's why it's called unity school.
Yes.
The idea of federal school is that we are federal in a sense. I went to a federal school. You eat food from almost every region of Nigeria. That's your menu, your feeding menu. Because you know federal schools are created differently. But I get your point. The point of the NYC is actually that we get to learn about Nigeria without even by experiencing Nigeria from different parts of Nigeria. And we are losing a bit of that. Sadly, insecurity has contributed to why we're losing that. But I understand where you're coming from because the truth is, as Nigerians, we need to learn about different parts of the country.
When you do,
That way,
when you do,
yes, diversity.
because
That way
you're
you
asking me
understand people differently.
exactly, because when you do, it will allow you to understand people when they act in some kind of way. It won't need your strength. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. If you are acting in some type of way, I will say, this guy is from Akwa Ibom. They will be like, why would you say that? I have been there for a year. This is how. Do you understand? No.
Even, please, as you're giving this, give us your final thoughts also.
I love where he's coming from because what Gowan had in mind with regard to the NYC was to help reintegrate. And we're losing that.
No, we have lost it because if I'm posted to Enugu, I'll walk my way back to Katsina. Do you understand?
But to be honest, to draw off what he said, he talked about orientation, and I'll rephrase it just a little. I believe we need a lot of patriotic education. So the reason why I'm rephrasing it as that, yes, orientation is important, but when you specify and niche it down to patriotic education, it allows you to understand that when you are able to help people build the love for Nigeria again, remind them why they need to fall in love with the country. You know, if you leave Nigeria, let me just tell you something simple. If you leave Nigeria, when you leave the country and you go out, you'll probably miss the food, the hamatan.
You will love Nigeria more when you leave. That's like fall outside. Nigeria for life when they leave. So once you start to miss
you can even imagine In abroad.
Oh my
Yes, I
goodness.
knew he was
What's your
Whenever you go against the traffic rules,
Yes.
you will be fined.
You have to.
But here, at times, you will do, but say, don't try it next time. Oh. You can't try that.
But
abroad.
that's actually, sorry, let me just
Blessings,
round up.
please give us.
All right. Okay. So, my closing thought. Like,
Yes.
I'm so eager about what Not Too Young to Run. You know, the advocacy about Not Too Young to Run. I saw their tenacity, the consistency in them, and I would advise every Nigerian out there: educate yourself, equip yourself, because they understood the system, they understood how the House of Assembly runs, they understood everything behind it. That was why they were able to run for it. That was why they were able to achieve it. So for every Nigerian out there, for every young Nigerian out there, it's necessary for you to take courses. It's necessary for you to build yourself. It's necessary for you to read about these things, because that's how you can gain more knowledge and, you know, brighten yourself and for a better future going forward. Thank you.
Please, sir, your final thoughts.
Well, my final thought is that this country is too important for all of us.
Yeah.
And we have none. I don't have two citizenship. This is the only country I have, and I would do anything to defend it. And I would like other young people to have such mindset towards making sure that patriotism should be a culture among us, not necessarily when it benefits you, but it should be a culture among Nigerians. And I will still go back. We should review this NYC. It's important. They should look into NYC.
I agree with you.
I have said this severally. It is important. This NYC will integrate our people. Trust me, it will. If we look at it, you know, from the angle that, do you know some people in the north will tell you when you go to Abia State, they slaughter people, that they set trap where they will cook people and eat them. Do you understand? Because he has never been there. And he had a story, a fairy tale, and he believed it. Some in the east will tell you, that if you go in the north, there is everybody have dagger. Which is not true.
Yeah,
do you understand?
Which is
so
not true.
when you come to the north and you understand, no, this is not true.
Negative stereotypes.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
People will start to understand each other.
True.
If you post a policeman to the east and he's a northerner, the next step is looking for a transfer back to the north. If you post, the only ones that stays back are the ones that are getting, you know. So these are challenges that we need to stop. It should be that when you are a northerner, you are posted in the east, you will be happy to be there. You will feel at home. Do you understand? You feel at home. You do your thing.
Yeah.
You know. So that's my close.
I would build. If there's one thing I tell when you travel, at least I think I've been to 31 states in Nigeria.
Wow.
And my goal is to at least visit every state.
I'm following you right behind. I'm following you right behind.
Which one?
Yeah, there are a few. Jigawa, Zamfara, and I'm sure I'm going to do Zamfara.
Have
this
you
year.
done Katsina?
Wow.
Of course, I have a family in Katsina. And when I say family,
Sorry.
when I say family, I mean like people who, because of the work I've been doing, from Not Too Young to Run, we built a family nationwide, right? So there's no state I'll go to today that I don't have someone I'll call. In Katsina, when I arrived, in the hotel, they thought I was a celebrity. Like, who are all these? You know, but one thing and so what am I saying? But
you're actually a celebrity, I'm sorry.
No, it's not. I know. Nigeria it's a beautiful country with humans who love each other. But sadly, the politics of division is used each time, which is why that ethnicity and religion is used to manipulate us. But if there's one thing I've learned is that if we can unite on our common suffering, we can change this country as a people. And it's left for us as younger people to take it seriously. No foreigner will change Nigeria for us. Nobody will come to change. The countries you want to go to, people built it. People sweat built it. So why not stay back and build my own country? Because change is not wishful thinking. It is a product of hard, consistent work. And if we want Nigeria to work for us, every one of us must come together to build this country.
Yeah. America's democracy is over 200 years. Do you understand? We are only 24.
24. All right, people.
Yeah.
I'm having goosebumps, man.
Such a great conversation.
For the love of Nigeria, for the love of Nigeria.
Yeah.
And this is the much we can take on this episode. I know the issues, they plenty. Issues. But that's also the beauty of democracy.
Yes.
You know, we have dissenting voices. We have the ones that are not dissenting. You know, and everybody is welcome.
Yes.
And our objective in this program is to teach you how to function amidst all of these voices, to amplify all of these voices and get the best out of it as a country. This is the only way we can build the Nigerian dream. I know you want to learn more about the winning strategies. Log on to our website, sign up for our courses. You're going to learn more how you're going to organize and build the Nigeria of our dreams. It's very important. We are the ones that will build the Nigeria we want. We are the ones that will determine the future of Nigeria. If you run away, you will go there. After you finish staying, you will come back. So stay here and let's do it together. Sign up for our courses, and always a pleasure having you on this show. Thank you, my guest. At some point, I was now like, hey, are we going off track? But these are the issues that come up when you want to organize, and you need to know how to navigate because they are real. For instance, let me even give you one experience about the thing you spoke about, NYSC. When they posted me to Karaye, oh my God, they started calling me Mr. Kanu. But there's one thing that's really irked me in the camp. There was no library. There was no library. And I'm like, this is a gathering of Nigeria's finest intellectuals. And we don't have a library. We really need to look into our NYSC because, like you said, NYSC has the potential, to change the trajectory of Nigeria for the better. Maybe we can start organizing from there.
Yes.
Right?
That's what this conversation is.
This is the only, NYC is the only opportunity for you to reach out to another state. Even when you don't want to. That's the only thing. You understand? You on your own, I can't tell you there is a job in so state, can you go? You will say you will not go. But due to, I have to collect this certificate to work, I have to go. So we seize the opportunity to do this.
Yes, so okay, people, this is the much we can take. Thank you so much. I remember your humble host, Orji Stephen, and this is your favorite podcast, Democracy Games. Remember to sign up for our courses. There's more loaded there.
And subscribe.
Yes,
Subscribe, please, subscribe.